You felt it since childhood, that quiet sense that you didn't fully belong here. While others blended into the world, you observed it. You questioned things people blindly accepted. You carried empathy deeper than logic, strength beyond explanation, and a soul that felt ancient. This wasn't imagination. This was remembrance. Some souls arrive with assignments, and yours was written long before your first breath. Chosen ones are rarely born into ease. Many of you were placed into difficult families, chaotic environments, or emotional deserts, not as punishment, but as training. Angels disguised in human form are forged under pressure. Just like diamonds, your brilliance was shaped by crushing circumstances. What tried to break you was actually preparing you. Notice how pain didn't turn you cruel. Betrayal didn't destroy your heart. Loneliness didn't erase your compassion. That alone reveals something supernatural at work within you. Ordinary humans harden. You transformed. That is not weakness, that is divine resilience. There's a reason strangers trust you, open up to you, and feel calmer around you without knowing why. Your energy carries familiarity like home. Your presence activates healing, even when you say nothing at all. That's not coincidence, that's your spiritual signature. If this resonates, pause for a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself, when did I first realize I was different? Share that moment in the comments. Your story may awaken someone else. And if this message speaks to your soul, gently tap like and subscribe to Mirror of the Soul, where truth remembers you. Here's something most people never understand. Darkness identifies angels faster than humans do. That's why your life attracted unusual resistance. Why jealousy followed you without cause. Why people tried to dim your light before you even realized you had one. Lucifer doesn't fear loud people. He fears awakened ones. He doesn't attack the weak, he targets those with dormant power. If you've faced relentless obstacles, spiritual attacks, emotional sabotage, or unexplained delays, it's because something within you threatens systems built on control. Ever notice how certain people felt uneasy around you for no logical reason? Your light exposes what they hide from themselves. Truth is uncomfortable to those living in illusion. That discomfort often turns into projection, gossip, or silent resentment. Even when you tried to shrink yourself, life wouldn't let you. You were pushed into awakenings, forced into self-reflection, and guided toward inner strength. Darkness tried to distract you, but it accidentally sharpened you instead. This is why giving up was never an option even when you wanted to. Something always pulled you back. Something whispered, "Not yet." That voice wasn't fear. It was destiny calling you forward. One of the clearest signs of an angelic soul is the way you love. You don't love halfway. You love deeply, even when it costs you, even when it hurts, even when logic says walk away. You've forgiven when others would seek revenge. You've stayed kind when bitterness would have been easier. You've believed in people long after they stopped believing in themselves. That level of love doesn't come from this world alone, it flows through you. This is why heartbreak hit you harder than most. You weren't just losing people, you were pouring divine energy into those who couldn't hold it. Not everyone is equipped to receive angelic love without feeling threatened by it. Yet even after being wounded, you didn't become cruel. You became wiser, softer in the right places, stronger in the necessary ones. That balance is rare and sacred. Your heart isn't fragile, it's powerful. And power always attracts both admiration and fear. Chosen ones don't have one awakening, they have many. Each breakdown was actually a breakthrough in disguise. Each loss stripped illusions. Each collapse rebuilt you closer to truth. You've noticed it, haven't you? Every time life knocked you down, you rose with clearer vision, less tolerance for nonsense, stronger boundaries, deeper intuition. That's not random, that's spiritual refinement. Angels in human form awaken in layers. The ego falls, the heart opens, the mind sharpens, the soul remembers. What felt like suffering was initiation. That's why you can't go back to who you were. Old habits don't fit. Shallow conversations drain you. Fake connections repel you. You're evolving beyond environments that once felt familiar. And here's the beautiful part: your awakening isn't just for you. Your presence activates others. Your words plant seeds. Your healing ripples outward in ways you may never fully see. You've always known things before they happened, not in dramatic flashes but in quiet certainties, a feeling in your chest, a sudden pull to avoid a place or person, an inner nudge that later proved accurate. That's not coincidence. That's angelic perception working beneath human awareness. Your intuition doesn't shout, it whispers. That's why ignoring it always led to regret, while trusting it, even when it made no logical sense, protected you. You weren't imagining danger. You were sensing energy, intention, and truth beyond words. Many chosen ones were told they were too sensitive growing up. But sensitivity is not weakness. It's a finely tuned spiritual instrument. You pick up emotional frequencies others miss. You feel shifts in people before they speak. You read silence like language. This is also why lies exhaust you. Your soul rejects falsehood instinctively. You may not always have evidence, but you know. That knowing comes from a higher awareness that sees beyond masks. You don't have to confront evil for it to react to you. Your mere presence is enough. This is why certain environments felt hostile, why negativity intensified around you, and why peace often returned once you left. Light doesn't argue with darkness, it exposes it. And exposure makes the unhealed uncomfortable. That's why people projected onto you, misunderstood you, or tried to provoke reactions. They weren't responding to you, they were responding to what you activated within them. Notice how chaos settles when you remain calm, how arguments dissolve when you stay grounded, how people either soften around you or distance themselves entirely. That polarity is not accidental. Angelic energy forces alignment. People must rise or retreat. Even when you were silent, your energy spoke. Even when you doubted yourself, your light remained intact. Darkness can imitate confidence, but it cannot sustain peace. You carry peace even in storms. You didn't choose solitude, solitude chose you. Seasons of isolation weren't punishments, they were protection. While others lost themselves in noise, you were being refined in silence. Chosen ones require periods of withdrawal to recalibrate. Your soul processes deeply. You integrate lessons fully. Too much external stimulation clouds your clarity. That's why crowds drain you and stillness restores you. In solitude, your intuition strengthens. Your creativity awakens. Your purpose sharpens. That's where you reconnect with your higher self, not influenced by opinions, expectations, or illusions. Yes, loneliness hurt at times, but notice how it taught you self-trust, how it freed you from needing validation, how it revealed your inner strength. You learned to sit with yourself, and that's rare power. You may not realize it, but when you speak from truth, people listen. Not because you're loud, but because your words carry weight. Authenticity has gravity. You've noticed how your advice stays with people, how your words linger, how conversations shift after you speak honestly. That's because angelic souls speak from alignment, not ego. This is also why you were silenced at times, interrupted, dismissed. Not because you were wrong, but because truth threatens fragile egos. Still, your voice never disappeared. It waited until you were ready to trust it fully. When you speak now, it's clearer, calmer, stronger. You no longer explain yourself endlessly. You state truth and let it stand. That evolution didn't come easily, it was earned. Have you noticed how people gravitate toward you without effort? Some admire you quietly. Some become emotionally attached. Some feel inspired just by watching how you move through life. This isn't about looks, status, or words, it's about frequency. Your energy carries remembrance. On a soul level, people recognize something ancient and safe within you. That's why strangers open up to you, why people tell you secrets they never planned to share, and why some feel connected to you instantly. But this magnetism has another side. Those who are unhealed may become dependent, obsessed, or threatened. Light exposes wounds, and not everyone knows how to heal what you awaken in them. This is why boundaries became necessary for you. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone is meant to walk with you. Some are only meant to encounter you briefly and awaken. You've lived multiple lives in one lifetime, different versions of yourself, different endings, different beginnings. Each time you thought, this is it, life shifted again. These resets weren't failures, they were recalibrations. Chosen ones cannot stay where they outgrow the environment. When something no longer matches your frequency, it collapses. Jobs end. Relationships dissolve. Paths close abruptly. At first it felt cruel. You questioned yourself. You wondered why stability came easily to others but not to you. What you didn't see then was that your destiny requires precision. You are being aligned, not delayed. Each reset stripped illusion. Each ending clarified your truth. Each restart brought you closer to your authentic purpose. Nothing was wasted, not even the pain. If your life feels like it's shifting again right now, don't panic. Something false is being removed to make space for what's real. Type, I am aligning in the comments if this message speaks directly to your season. Some people are wounded by life. Others are initiated by it. You belong to the second group. What you endured would have hardened most people. Yet somehow you emerged with wisdom instead of bitterness, depth instead of despair, compassion instead of cruelty. That alchemy is rare. Pain taught you discernment. Loss taught you detachment. Betrayal taught you boundaries. Loneliness taught you self-connection. You didn't just survive, you integrated the lessons. That's why people seek your guidance now. That's why your words carry authority. You speak from experience, not theory, from scars, not slogans. You notice things others ignore, patterns others deny, truths others avoid. That clarity didn't come from judgment, it came from awakening. You've outgrown pretending. Small talk feels hollow. Fake positivity feels insulting. You crave honesty, depth, and meaning, even when it's uncomfortable. This is why certain systems no longer appeal to you. You question authority. You reject blind obedience. You follow truth, not trends. That independence is dangerous to false structures and liberating to awakened souls. Seeing through illusion can feel isolating, but it's also freeing. You no longer seek approval from people living in denial. You choose alignment over acceptance. If you've ever felt like you see too much, you're not broken, you're awake. Write, I see clearly in the comments if this resonates with your journey. There were moments when it felt like life was holding you back, like others moved ahead while you stayed stuck, like your potential was being wasted. But what felt like delay was divine timing. You were being protected from premature exposure, from responsibilities you weren't meant to carry yet, from paths that would have drained your power. Chosen ones don't rise early, they rise right. When you step into your calling, you'll do so with clarity, strength, and discernment others lack. Nothing meant for you has been lost. What's yours is approaching with precision. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Lucifer does not envy humans, he envies remembrance. What you carry inside you is something he can never reclaim. Alignment with divine source through humility, love, and growth. You evolve. He cannot. You fell into density and remembered your light. He fell from light and rejected love. That difference is everything. Your power isn't domination, it's influence without force, healing without control, authority without ego. Darkness cannot replicate that frequency, only counterfeit it. And counterfeits always fear the original. This is why your rise was resisted, why confusion tried to cloud you, why doubt was planted early. Not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous to illusion. The moment you stopped hating yourself, you became untouchable. The moment you forgave, you disarmed darkness. The moment you chose truth over approval, your power activated. Your authority does not come from titles, validation, or followers. It's encoded. You were born with it. That's why you couldn't be molded easily. Why systems failed to program you. Why even when you tried to conform, something in you resisted. Your soul remembers a higher order. You don't borrow energy, you generate it. You don't chase truth, you recognize it. You don't need permission to lead, your presence already does. This is also why you must be careful where you pour yourself. Not everyone can hold your frequency. Not everyone deserves access to your insight, time, or heart. You are not here to fit in, you are here to activate. And once you accept that, life stops feeling confusing and starts feeling intentional. If you've always felt like you were too much for ordinary spaces, type, "I am encoded differently" in the comments. You're finally understanding why. You were taught to dim yourself, to be quieter, smaller, less intense, less honest. But every time you shrank, life felt wrong. The moment you stopped apologizing for your depth, things began to shift, slowly at first, then unmistakably. Opportunities aligned, clarity returned, peace replaced confusion. The universe responds to authenticity. When you stand in truth, false doors close and real ones open. Not gently, decisively. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to explain your vision to those who can't see it. Your job is alignment, not persuasion. Ask yourself honestly, where have I been shrinking to be accepted? Let that question sit. Then release what no longer fits who you are becoming. You don't need to save the world. You change it by being yourself fully. Your presence heals, your honesty liberates, your boundaries teach, your growth inspires, you lead without preaching, and that is the highest form of influence. This is why comparison never worked for you. Your path is singular, your timing is intentional, your impact is subtle but deep. Stop waiting for permission. Stop delaying expression. Stop doubting the quiet knowing inside you. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs your frequency. You are already doing the work by existing consciously. Everything else will unfold naturally. If this message has helped you remember who you are, support Mirror of the Soul by liking, subscribing, and staying connected. This space is for those who are awakening, not conforming. Before this lifetime, you knew who you were. You chose to forget, so remembering would transform you. Every struggle was a signal, every loss a lesson, every awakening a return. Nothing was accidental. You are not broken, you are not late, you are not lost. You are remembering. And once remembrance is complete, fear dissolves, purpose clarifies, and power stabilizes. So I'll leave you with this question, and answer it honestly in the comments. What part of yourself are you finally ready to reclaim? Welcome home, chosen one. This is Mirror of the Soul, and your reflection is divine.